quite professional with very good equipment, 4 ACs and everything. I think in majority of the NGO-run community radio stations, you will find them very basic. Okay, so some people have also used the containers where you put the eggs, for soundproofing. And my own radio station has a very humble equipment and humble look and feel and humble acoustic. Because setting up a radio station, I think Basil will talk more about it in the afternoon, but there is a certain funding that is required. So when we talk about community radio and sustainability, most of us go into only the financial sustainability, which according to all of us is a very important component, but is not the only component. Would anybody like to share with me what other things would be constituting sustainability? How would you sustain a radio station? What would be the few things that you would have to look into? Can you tell me, please?
Quality input, quality output.
Huh?
Quality input and quality output.
Quality input and output, that means are you talking about content?
Programming.
Okay, so programming is one aspect. Anybody would like to add to this? Yeah?
Collaborate with the,
No, I'm talking about the issues of sustainability. So do you think collaboration with other NGOs would make you sustainable? Okay, Pinky, would we like to note it down? So one is like collaboration, one is like content, anything else? Sorry? Community participation and engagement, absolutely. Anything else?
Value based.
Sorry?
Value based.
Value based. Value. Yeah, ethics of course is very important, because once you have your mandate and you know why you set it up. Okay, because time is short, I'll just move on to this. When I started my radio station, and but within 2 years, we won the sustainability award. I'm not saying that that's the only way to judge how we are functioning, but yes, that was a very, we felt very nice about it, and it was some kind of recognition. According to me, first of all, it's the social sustainability, in which you talk about the engagement with the community, you talk about involvement of the community, you talk about participation of the community, you talk about the content which is related to the community, because as we were saying yesterday, why should anybody listen to us? So if it is not based in the social context of the community you are working with, then nobody is going to listen to us, because if they want to listen to something else, they have a lot of options. Number 2 is the cultural sustainability. Now would anybody like to talk about what cultural sustainability is?
I can give the mic.
The third is the financial, then technological, and then of course human resources becomes a very important part of it. Otherwise, if you don't have people to run the station, and that is where your community's engagement also comes in, how will you sustain your radio station? So human resources. So I'll just go quickly, I'll take you back to the way we set up our radio station. For us, we moved very slowly. But we knew that if we just start all together with 8 hours or 10 hours, I don't know whether we would be able to sustain it. So I'm talking about 3 years back. Now today there is a lot of awareness and a lot of people know about it. So when we started, we took a step-by-step approach. Our first thing was, where will we locate our radio station? Will it be accessible to the community? Or will we be so far away that people have to think 5 times, oh, if I have to go to make a program to the radio station, I need the full day. So we chose a place which was just on the way. So anybody close to the market, on the way, not very far from the administration. So anybody who comes to the court, or anybody who comes to the police station, or anybody who comes to pay their bills, can see Radio Mewak written there, and they will drop by. So we wanted it to become a place where people can just walk in comfortably, and they don't have to plan a visit. So when they are coming to town to do anything, they can just drop by at the station. Second thing was infrastructure. We could have gone for very modern infrastructure, although it needs money, but you should not scare your community who has never used a recorder or never used a computer. If you have very fancy equipment, then people are very scared of using it. as we were discussing yesterday, that in my community radio station, most of my computers, half the parts are hanging outside because the community has used it so often. None of the USB ports work, so we finally had to bring that little connector so that is fixed and people don't keep pushing. As Pinky and Vandana and I were discussing why this is a major problem, because people don't realize they come, they put in their pen drive, and or even the recorder, it's pushed in through the USB port and sometimes it has some virus and it just gets transferred. So the infrastructure had to be very, very user friendly. Manpower.